So let's go through one of the weekly workouts or an inspiration workout or what I usually do during the week to expand upon what I've written in the presentation that you can find in the in the description of the video. So strength workout, build on armor, injury prevention, building strength, building mostly muscular endurance. Uh, yes, let's just go through it based on the functional training approach, having read, listened, studied a bit of the Michael Boyle and others. We go through a basic push, pull, knee dominant, so squat, hinge, so hip dominant, exercises plus core stability and core strength in the three components that I explained in the presentation. So anti-frontal flexion, anti-rotation, and anti-lateral flexion. But anyway, I gotta stop talking. Let's go through it. I like to work in supersets. I don't like to take super long in between exercises, also because I usually don't have so much time. So I like to be efficient. And in the meantime, as my upper body recovers, I'm gonna do my lower body or my core exercises. So it's basically a mini circuit of 3 exercises. It's a 3 set in which I have an upper body exercise, a lower body exercise, and a core exercise. All right. So here we go. The material for this super complicated workout is a chair, one yoga mat, maybe if you need it, otherwise you can just use the floor, and one dumbbell. Again, the weight depends. I usually do these workouts in the gym, so I have also all kinds of equipment, all kinds of weights, so I can scale up, scale down, as you know, as you go back to the presentation, as I talk about programming. Every 3 weeks, I like to vary the exercises. That's why I include 2 sets, 2 kind of workouts with different types of exercises, so that's basically the exercises that I do rotate around, not to overuse. And then I do scale up or scale down the weight every 3 weeks. Anyway, I like to start with a hip dominant exercise. Okay, so I'm gonna take my dumbbell. I'm gonna go left hand, right foot. I'm gonna do a single leg, straight leg deadlift. Hip dominant exercise. I balance on one foot, and as you can see, I am barefoot, and that's on purpose. I like to work on my balance. I like to work on my foot stability. I like to work on my foot strength as I do work out, and of course on balance. So first exercise, single leg, lean down and come back up again explosively. I get the weight on the inside of the foot. I try to keep the back leg as straight as possible, reaching for the wall, trying to reach for the wall with the heel, trying to keep the foot on the inside. Okay, so what I don't want to see is this. Okay, so from this side, what you don't want to see is this movement, this rotation. You want to keep the foot as straight as possible, the toes pointing down to the ground, nice and strong, and come up again. And then of course I'm gonna switch leg and do the other side. So I'm gonna do 10 reps. If it's the phase with the low weight, I'm gonna do between 6 and 8 reps if it's the phase with the higher weight. So that was the hip dominant exercise. Now I'm gonna do a pull exercise as soon as I'm done with this one. So let's say I have my chair, I have my dumbbell. I'm gonna put it again on this side so you can see what's happening. I get in an athletic position, I lean forward, I get the hand on the chair, and again, as you can see, like maybe I'm not sure if you can see it from there, but my heels are slightly lifted. Okay, I'm strong in the low back. I get the dumbbell, and then I just isolate all the muscles, keep the hips as still as possible, and just row. Okay, it's okay also to rotate a little bit. That's a natural movement of the shoulder. But as you can see, I am isolating the hips and just pulling, really trying to feel the scapula going back, isolating that little muscle, which is super important for tennis and injury prevention and keeping a good posture. So I've done these two exercises. Again, same idea, 10 reps. Now I'm going to do one core exercise. I like to start with the clock plank. Okay, so basically, just easier to put the thing this way. Clock plank, I do get in a push-up position, and then I am slowly gonna go through the different hours of an imaginary clock in front of me. So as you can see, I get in a push-up position. Again, strong position with the hips, strong with the core, in with the butt, and then I go left hand to 12 o'clock, right hand to 12 o'clock, left hand at 3/4, right hand 3/4 over there. Then I go 90 degrees to the side, 90 degrees to the side, 45 down, 45 down, then at the bottom. I'm basically drawing a star. You can think of the numbers, you can play it as a game. You can say 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and so on and so forth. Okay, the longer you do it, of course, the more it starts to burn. And the point of this exercise is really trying to be as stiff, as stable as possible with the hips as I am lifting the arms. Okay, that's a classic anti-rotation exercise. So what you don't want to see is this. Okay, but instead you really want to keep the hips as if nothing is happening with the upper body. Yes, so there was the clock plank. Now I am going to repeat it for 3 times. Okay, so I'm going to do again my single leg, straight leg deadlift, both arms, 10 and 10. Then I'm going to do my rows, 10 and 10, and then I will do another clock plank. Okay, and then I will do it again. So 3 sets of 10. Now the other core exercise. Okay, after the 3rd set, I'm going to do a front plank. I have my watch over here. I'm going to do 30 seconds regular front plank, and then after 30 seconds I'm going to start lifting my arms. I'll show you. So I have my timer on. I put 1 minute on the timer. First 30 seconds I'm just in a regular plank position. Again, the elbows are slightly in front of the shoulders, 90 degrees bent, up with the butt, inwards with the, what's it called? Like this part is not going to lean back, like the hips are basically forward. Okay, I have the name in Italian, it will come out in English at some point. But anyway, so plank position, 30 seconds here, and then as I look at the watch, it says 30 seconds. I am gonna spread feet a little bit, keep a really strong position with the glutes and the hips, and then pull the left hand forward, and then pull the right hand forward. Left hand forward, right hand forward, and it gets really burning. Okay, you really want to keep the core still. Okay, and then the timer is gonna beep after 30 seconds. And with this exercise, I did 30 seconds of regular anti-frontal flexion, and then I did also 30 seconds of anti-rotation plus the anti-flexion component. Yes, 3 sets, done with the 3 sets of the single leg, straight leg deadlift, and the rows and the core exercises. Moving on to the next exercises. I still have my dumbbell. What am I missing? I am missing the knee dominant, so the squat exercise, and I am missing the push exercise, plus a couple more core exercises. So here was what I'm gonna do. I am gonna use the dumbbell. I am gonna get in this position right here. Okay. I'm gonna start kneeling down. Okay. That's how I like to teach and to start the split squats. So you go from the bottom up. Okay, kneeling position, balance slightly forward. You want to lift and feel the weight going right through your front heel. Okay, as if your front toes, you can see my tippy toe of the right foot, it could be lifting. Okay, so the weight is on the heel, still leaning forward and up. Strong position. And then I do it 10 times. Okay, of course, after 10, I go down again. I find a strong position, lean forward and lift. And lift. Okay, and I go for 10. So these are my split squats. Single leg exercise for the squat for the knee dominant part. Very good. Done with that. I do it 10 times. Now it's the turn of my push exercises. Okay, hopefully my chair is stable enough. I am gonna do some elevated push-ups. Okay, again, it depends on the level. It depends on how much load you want to put doing the push-ups. So what I usually do in my gym, I have a weighted vest of about 20 kilos. I put it on and then I do elevated push-ups. The next level would be having an unstable surface where I have to stabilize with the weighted vest with elevated position. Okay. If that's too complicated, just do regular push-ups. Okay. So regular push-ups, starting from here. Elbows close to the ground, start like a crocodile. Strong with everything, strong with the glutes, strong with the abs, and then lift from the bottom. If you gotta regress, totally fine. Knees push up, okay? Start leaning down, start like a crocodile, bend the legs, and lift, okay? So the idea, if you wanna start with the knee push-ups, so you just start in this position right there. Like again, crocodile position, elbows close to the ground, strong with the hips, strong with the glutes, strong with the low back, and lift. Okay, so that's, you don't want to say this. Okay? This is not helping for nothing. Okay, same as the regular push-ups. You don't want to see people going like a salmon coming off the river. Okay, that makes no sense. Elevated push-ups. I don't have the weight vest with me right now, and I don't like to film with people in the gym looking because it's kind of weird. So I'm just gonna get my feet on the chair. Hopefully I'm not gonna fall down. That would be really funny. And from this position, I'm just gonna do the same thing. That's gonna put a little more stress on the upper part of the chest. It's gonna be a little more difficult just because of basics physics, gravity and stuff. So yes, I usually do with the push-ups between 15 and 20 reps because it's not that max effort exercise. Okay, when I'm at the gym, I do switch sometimes also with the regular bench dumbbell flies, okay, with dumbbells, and then I can scale up the weight, and then it makes sense to do 3 sets of 10. If I do 3 sets of 10 with the push-ups, yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel right. So I usually scale it up. I do some more muscular endurance, and I go around 15-20 reps. Okay, with the weighted vest with the elevated push-ups. Good. Done with that, then I am gonna do one more round of my front plank. So if you're following, then I did 2 clock planks, right? Going around with the hands. Now I'm gonna do my second regular plank, 30 seconds here, and then 30 seconds with the anti-rotation component. Okay, that's another minute. That is 4 core exercises in total. Then guess what? I am gonna do it again. So I have my split squats, I'm gonna do again 10 and 10, and then I'm gonna do my push-ups again, and then afterwards I'm gonna do my last core exercise, which is a basic side plank. So I have my timer on, 30 seconds, leaning sideways, forward with the glutes, okay, nice and tall. You can put the hand up, you can put the hand on the hip. Important is you don't start leaning down and you don't start going back with the butt. So forward and up, nice strong position, 30 seconds here. Okay, if it gets easy, then try lifting the leg and holding it up. That helps with the glutes as well. You can also alternate. And then of course after 30 seconds, I just switch around. I go forward with the butt, lift the leg, and so on and so forth. Very good. Now, last time, I'm going to do the split squats once again. 10 and 10. I'm going to do my push-ups once again. And I will do this, the side plank, once again. So it is a total of 6 core exercises, like 2 sets of 3 core exercises. And then 3 sets of 10 of the first pair, 3 sets of 10 of the second pair, and then I am done. I usually take just the workout part, you usually take between 40-45 minutes, which is not that long if you consider some of the guys and gals going to the gym and chitty-chatting and doing 3 exercises and spending 2 hours at the gym. So I like to do it efficiently and functionally, if that's possible. As you can see, you don't need a gym. Okay, you can easily get a good workout in with 1 dumbbell, 1 chair, and a floor. So no excuses. Yeah, don't forget the warm-up. Okay, you can go back to the presentation and find the link about the total warm-up, which, you know, it's important. Maybe also for the guys here at the tennis, you guys don't see me doing it before I start working or before I play, but I am doing it. I promise. I promise. I do it at the gym. I do it before I compete. Like, you know, it's a matter of preparing the body. It's a matter of doing the mobility, doing the resistance bands. It is helping to stabilize, to prevent injuries, and also, like, there has been some studies showing improvement in the racket speed and everything if you work on the little shoulder muscles. So don't skip the warm-up, do your mobility, do your stretches, and yes, there was one of the 2 strength workouts, so I hope it helps.